All right, 2032 post-war Lionel train wiring diagram. So fairly simple. The two outer wheels are going to be ground, and the whole frame is going to be ground. So we're just going to have, from now on, we're just going to call these three dots our ground. So we got grounds everywhere. Everything goes to ground. But the pickup rollers, these are your two pickup rollers. They are a red cable, black. I have the cables are labeled black, red, copper. It doesn't. It has this little sleeve on it. It's kind of a weird wire. But we got black, green, blue, yellow. Um, but let's go through the horn, the whistle assembly first. So we're going to start with the red. We're going to come around here. This is the hot, I guess. So we're going to come around here. We got three of these little bent brass pieces on the outside. They're kind of a connector system. It's kind of weird. But this one's, the outer is going to be ground. The middle is going to be hot, and then the back one, the closest to the frame, is going to be your 1.5 volts. Now, this is always live. It's always connected. We got our ground here for the coil. Ground is going to be here, and then hot is going to be here. So every time there's power to the track, you're going to get power to this coil. There's no stopping it for the coil. Now, in a previous video, we sent a DC offset to the track, and so what that does is, now this is very weird. The coil in here is kind of an AC coil. But there, if you look real close, there are two washers in here at the very bottom. And those washers are part of the design. Those washers are brass. And what they do, they're not on both sides. They're only on one side. And so what that does is it makes one side stronger than the other side if it's DC. So those copper those copper washers in there disturb the way it works, and so it gets sucked in one way when it's DC offset. It is so weird how this works, but it does. So when it sees DC, it's going to latch in this bar here, and that bar is connected to the chassis of this. Now this is isolated from the ground by a plastic washer at the base, and even the screw has a plastic bushing there. So it is not. This is isolated from the main ground. So this is all going to be 1.5 volts, and that is powered by this battery that you put in here. So we're going to get 1.5 volts going to the horn. So the horn fires there. Now, they don't short each other because we're separate systems. We're sharing the same ground here as the AC, but because we're only taking one wire and nothing else is connected, it only powers 1.5 volts to this horn here. Now, the other systems we got a bulb that's just hot to ground. There's nothing fancy there. We have and then this is the shifter system. This is the 4-position E unit. We have a hot coming in here, and it is powering the coil. Most of them have a little switch that disables the coil here. So when you pop this open, it doesn't get ground. But when it's connected, you do get ground. And so if this is not working, sometimes the switch isn't, because there's a little rivet that holds this on, and it's not very good. And you move it back and forth a lot, I guess, if you're using that. But that can wear out. And so if you're not getting ground, it's not going to work. But yeah, that's always live, and it is always trying to suck that in. So every time you power up the track, it's going to create a field here that's going to pull this stud, this block in here, and it's got that little hook on here. And when it sucks in, it rotates a 8-tooth gear here, and it's going to go click. And then when it drops out, it's going to go click, and it's going to ratchet that 8-tooth gear, and that 8-tooth gear has connectors on it. That's going to be these little guys right here. So these are your 4 positions that this E unit can do. We got R, red coming in. We have green coming out. So, and then green, if you look around here, so we got red, green. Green is going to go to the outer coil of the motor. So it's a AC motor. It is in phase with everything else. So it's going to go positive and then positive the other way, positive and then positive the other way. So it is in phase with everything else. And so it is going to give, we got two fields, right? We got the blue and the yellow field from the stator coming around here. And then we have, it's got to push against something, right? So it's got the rest of the magnet here. And this is just, it creates a field here. So they're bouncing off each other and that's what keeps it spinning. But our direction, so green is always going to ground. That's not really directional. What is directional is your blue and yellow. So whether it wants to go clockwise or counterclockwise for the direction of the train, we're going to hit these different ways. So it's going to go red to blue, and then nothing, then red to yellow, nothing, and it's going to go click through all these. So the top is going to be this side, and then the bottom is going to be this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all 8 positions around the ring of this gear that's going to spin around and give you your different directions. So that is it. So we're going to connect red to blue, and then on the other turn, green is going to go to blue. So that's how you get backwards. So you got forward, neutral, reverse, neutral, forward, neutral, reverse, neutral. And it's going to click through all those gears. And we're going to hit through the blue. It's going to come in one side and, come out the other side. And that's how we get our direction control. And that is it. 2032 wiring diagram. Lionel.